Yes. Hi, and welcome to the second part of our Zoom event today. And we have again this exclusive interview and now the questions what our viewers and who have joined in our Zoom wants to ask from Niklas Christides. Welcome, Niklas Christides, again from Dolce Vita Global.
Thank you very much, Minja.
Yes, and we had just interesting conversation. If you're seeing this video now, you should definitely see the first video because there was a lot of interesting things that can really again open your mind. And we are very pleased in Qi-Optima.com that we have got Dolce Vita Global shop in our platform. And we also, what we didn't talk about in the previous video, that you're going to offer also some services and courses. So what kind of services and courses you're going to share through Qi-Optima.com platform in future?
Well, I think it's something we are obviously still discussing, and we'll see what is suitable. But internationally, it's still in our interest to try to both engage people and help them with their lifestyle challenges, or just also to motivate more and to find more inspiration. We are building a very interesting new coaching model, which is trying to tackle the way that we approach our self-development in a new way. So we will look at each and every one from an individual standpoint. So rather than coming with very heavy kind of guidelines on, well, this is what we are teaching, we're actually adapting all of the knowledge that we have around the individual to try to then actually choose what things help to maintain this or to guide this person forward. And I think it's quite fascinating development, because I've built a competency framework myself many years ago, and have been coaching a lot about soft skills and leadership and things like this. But it's really empowering to finally be able to also bring the holistic perspective into play, which means that we can actually start to understand the true nature of how we develop. And I'm hoping that we can, with this new coaching model, that we can actually be quite unique in also tackling some of the challenges that the business sector is facing in terms of how people are feeling at work, how people are making their choices about how they build their life, what is important and what is not. And these are very important to us, but there is a lot coming, and a lot of things coming, and what we are working on. And
but that's called Unique You, right?
Yes, that's
what you were talking about. Exactly. Yes. Because and it's in Finnish and English language, right?
Yes.
So you can get it in both. Okay, wow, that's cool. Because and then of course what we are definitely interested, what we were talking about, because you have so much knowledge about business world, and this is something that I think is lacking from schools, of education, of how to control your money, how to control your economy. And you said you're gonna teach us from the while you're born until the end of our life, because there can be a lots of money that are lost, when you are unknown of certain things. Can you tell a little bit about this?
Yeah, it's been something that in a sense I've been doing to relatives and people around me anyway, so to guide them in it. And I don't know it's not something we have developed yet, but it's kind of like life cycle management for people. So not for businesses, but for people. So, and with life cycle, it means that the whole journey And it's actually interesting because the journey doesn't stop just in our lives from when we are born to when we die, but it's because when it comes to economy and how we manage our wealth and everything, it's a step process, because we are inheriting and we are leaving something behind as well. So it's quite important to actually really look also beyond our own life cycle. So it's kind of like, you could say that it's family life cycle, would be a much better term, to actually safeguard the legacy, and to secure the future of the family.
Exactly.
Is very
important. And very important, because, for example, I got heritage. It's a long time ago, and I didn't know anything about money, and which was almost, I think it was $12,000 or something like that. So I didn't know anything about it. So I just spent it. And then comes the taxes.
Yeah.
And then I was in problems.
Yeah.
So if I look what happened, well, would I be maybe even happier that I didn't even get that heritage? Because then I wouldn't, well, of course it was nice to have the money anyway, but still, I could do so much better if somebody would help me a little bit with that. Well, I definitely would.
I think that's the point in a way, is that, and what frustrates me is that why, for instance, our governments are not helping us to manage these things. Because in a sense that if you give somebody a passport and say that you're not now part of my clan, I think it would actually mean that you should care for them. And it's something that quite heavily is lacking also. So I think it's just something that will come as part of the eco villages and everything, because that's all about wealth management as well. Because in there we are looking to figure out how to look after people, but to do it also on individual basis for people who need it, I think is a good thing to do. And it's something that people should think about, because it's not easy. I've just had the same discussions, or I'm having the similar discussions in our family. When things change, when heritages come and go and so on, they tend to create kind of like a wave. So we're not actually in balance. We're constantly kind of being stretched to one side or the other, and it's not healthy when it's done for the wrong reasons. If it's there's nothing wrong with having waves in your life, but they have to be there for the right reason.
Yeah, and there's also like, if we talk about Sting, I saw it just in a Metro magazine, but he said he's not going to give any heritage to his family because they need to earn their own. And actually, my father have said the same thing, because he don't want to see that what happened to him when his father died, because people came very like horrible. They were starting to fight in some kind of cups and things. What doesn't matter? There was a human life that went,
But what this is,
that wasn't important. Yeah.
Why it is, and this may sound hard to people, but it's a failure in how we have been, it's a failure in parenting and education. Both things have lacked. People have had too much time looking at themselves and what is important to them, and they have not looked around. And that's why it became a situation like that. That advice that Sting gave is totally wrong. I will never advocate for something
me
like
neither.
that.
Me neither. I would not do it. I would work hard so that I would not leave my daughter in that kind of situation. I would not do it. But again, our parents come also to teach us things, what we don't like, what we won't do, so that we can do it differently. So we have choose that path too.
And one really important thing is that what is heritage? People always talk heritage in materia and money. to me, those are the two things that matter.
Knowledge.
That matters almost nothing, because you cannot safeguard anybody with that, because you know nothing about what's going to happen. You don't know if material is going to be worth anything, and you don't know if money is going to be worth anything. So what are you actually leaving behind? Nothing. Well, something, but it's not. That is not the core. The core is in, like you said, it's the knowledge, but it's also the life skills. It's about, giving people the basic pillars that they need to get through their life. That's responsible. This is how we should, and this is an ethic that it's incredible how few people seem to understand that this is part of life. This is kind of like given to you as part of the right to exist.
Yeah, it's true. Wow, you definitely all should look into this family life, whatever the name is gonna be, these courses and services, what you can get from Niklas Christides. And there's gonna be videos, there's gonna be blog, there's gonna be explanation of these whenever they come. So you should keep on following us in YouTube and our page, and of course a Dolce Vita Global shop, and of course you should go to Dolce Vita Global. Well, we're gonna put the link, mydvg.eu page also, because there's a lot of knowledge there. So you just click into it, and you should read. And of course, to remind everybody that if we have in our Zoom 10 people in our every Zoom event, whether it's recorded or not, you can win. We have a short out and you can win. Today we didn't have 10 people, but maybe next time we have 10 people. And when you listen to these videos, you understand why you should be every Thursday here, 9 o'clock Spanish time. But now we have time for the questions. So let's please, who want to ask, and whatever you want to ask, what we were talking in a previous video or this video, please ask from Niklas, and I'm sure he would love to answer to you.
Of course.
Yes, so right now it would be Rochelle. So do you have any questions?
Okay, so I wanted to clear up something. So basically with the eco villages, right? I wasn't too clear, but I wanted to be sure that you're saying you have a sort of infrastructure in place so that, it'll be functioning a lot more efficiently and would be, much better than what we would have seen before and the ones that didn't work out. Yeah, and that everyone has a role, and everyone's role is crucial to making sure that it functions the way it's supposed to. Correct?
Yes, exactly. So the way that we envision that it would work the best, and saying this means also that we will not know until we have the first one, because we need to be mindful that this is a slightly different approach to how to create this kind of setting. But the idea is that, or I believe strongly in the role of engagement. So it's not about forcing people to do things, but it's about trying to bring a sort of a rewards model for, so if people harvest or are part of cooking in the kitchen or doing it, there are things, there are choices to be made, and everybody can partake into the economic well-being of the village, which means that when you sustain that, so we can then trade whatever the village makes, it can trade it with either the other villages for resources. So say one village makes salt and the other one, like in say Croatia, makes salt, and the other one makes nettle in Finland, and they can trade these resources between each other. So there is an efficiency. It's kind of still built under the same communal umbrella, and that there is an idea that we can have more with less. We can bring more value to our lives because we can share and be interlinked also on a larger scale. But the idea about the point is to not start from building houses and then figuring out, well, how are we going to pay the costs? But to actually start from the fact that no, we actually have a machinery, we have a market to sell to, we have the channels to sell to, so on, so that we can ensure that there is no burdening of the actual residents. And that means that if everybody has a good kind of like good feeling about each day, it means that there is a natural organic well-being to the place. And that, I think if we can achieve something like that, then we can maybe for the first time, like I always laugh to this, like when we say that Finland is the happiest country in the world, which is total rubbish. So it's
says the one who lives in Spain
yeah.
since 2017.
Exactly. So it's we could actually create something that can say that there are happy people here. I think that would be amazing to see it, because I've never seen it anywhere. I've seen like traces of it, but not in a deep rooted sense anywhere. And I've been nearly around the globe, not the States. I don't know ever. Well, I know why I've not been there, but so.
Well, I don't know. What really surprised me in Trinidad and Tobago, that there is, for example, this they play this kind of a pan. Rochelle can tell me a little bit more about it. It's a pan which sounds like, it sounds like it's very happy. And I saw this guy very thin, don't have like, it's thin, but because the music is so happy, is that he really seems happy. Even I see he don't have much. So that surprised me, because if I go to Finland, everybody, at least they have their house, they have their food, but they're going on a bus and their faces are like totally not happy. It is scaring, it's depressing to see them. If you would suddenly go there from that environment like Trinidad and Tobago, you would go there. It's suddenly it's horrifying. It will take the smile away.
The happy thing in Finland is nature is happy because it's still feeling quite good. And I guess that's in some way why it's right. But people, no, I don't buy that.
It's true. It's true. And what is actually, for me, what I miss from here is to go to the forest. Because like today I saw small traces of trebol, they call it's apila. How would you call it, the apila in English?
Yeah, it's
sorry, I just know it now in Spanish, but it's the one which have the luck one is when you have 4 leaves.
Yeah,
but usually have 3 leaves, and it has the flower. Clover. Sorry, I just don't. Clover. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it's trebol in Spanish. so I just saw them a little bit, because they're not everywhere. Where I don't have even grass here where I am. I don't have even grass. Can you imagine that? So when we run there a little bit further, so I saw that. So I even tried to watch them because it's so beautiful.
I dry them. Dry them and make them into a spice. They are actually really nice.
Ah, okay, nice. But of course, I wouldn't take it there because it was next to the.
No, but in the forest. The forest.
Yeah, in the forest, I would take it too. Okay, perfect. But even in Finland is the forest, but the environment makes me so sad and difficult to achieve anything, because I'm like too sensitive person. So moving here when I don't understand everything, or I understand only little, it has been better for me. So then I kind of feel better. So by moving in an environment that can make you feel better, I think it's a very good idea.
And
especially
it's a point with it, with the villages as well, is that to have many villages, there is an advantage, because what we can create is a potential of actually visiting the other ones, or even moving between.
To do exchange.
So to think that your life is not centered into one place, but that actually we could make it into a mobile thing. But this is individual, because some people do not need that. Some people need their grounding and they need to stay. But I think for the people who need to explore and see new things, I think this is an excellent model for actually enabling that.
It's incredible. What do you think, Rochelle? Would you like to live, or maybe be one of the creators, maybe someday, of Eco Village?
Well, it's something that I have always been curious about, and I've sort of been involved in a community that was leaning towards doing something like that, but it wasn't well thought out. So, I was hopeful to see something with a bit more structure and, functionality. So I would be really excited about something like that.
That's good to hear. And I think, there's been a lot of discussion about how to go about the next stages, which means that we will run like a miniature prototype and then hopefully create the first village as well within the next few years, or get it started, get the ball really rolling. But one of the things that we've also realized, that this creating of the community is actually absolutely vital. And it doesn't mean that everybody in the community has to move into the village or to be part of it, but it's about getting people who are pro to the idea to participate into the sustainable design of it, so that we can say that when we actually achieve the first one, we can quickly keep moving to the next. Because if it takes 10 years between each village, the model will kind of like drizzle out. It will never find its feet. So this is also something that we do need to keep moving, I think, for it to become truly, in that sense, sustainable.
And international.
Yes.
So, and that's the collective. That's the collective. So, wow. Do you have any other questions, Rochelle?
I was just a bit more curious about the hooves, the herbal products, and that sort of thing. Of course, naturally, because I'm into hooves, and I'm always, looking for new things. And I don't think I've had a chance to, look for myself to see what it was about. But I'm curious. So I think.
Yeah, good. So I guess we kind of like touched on it a little bit, but the point was that for us, it's quality and is everything. And myself and Rocco Parisi, who's the other owner, we both are artisan chefs. We've been cooking since we were small, and we've had, obviously, like you heard, my mother, but he had a similar environment in Italy, that where this knowledge, he comes from a small village in Laurenzana, close to Naples. There is just a different appreciation to quality and purity when you're in that type of environment. So for me, it was my mom who probably gave me the boost to understand, to analyze, like that there is a difference between things. And then having the opportunity to travel the world is about realizing that meatballs in Finland are similar to, I don't know, cardboard compared to something that I can eat abroad. But then realizing that actually what I ate abroad is also maybe not cardboard, but it's actually not that great. So it's about raising the awareness levels to then say, right, well, what is actually great? And what we then been working on is to track and try to keep the highest standard in each and every product that we get, our ingredient. And if we then, if our standards get raised, we then have to source for something that meets that. So we are also not committing ourselves to ever standing still on this journey. And I think that's how you can maintain the highest quality possible.
Wow, by challenging all the time.
Constantly.
Do it better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's I think everybody should do. You know, every day you would want to be the better version.
And understanding everything, like also how you cultivate, how, you know, if you pick in the forest. I'm really pissed off. We talked today about this with Rocco as well, is that, you know, you get these people from abroad who come to Finland to pick the berries, and they use these berry pickers. They pick all of the leaves, they destroy the bushes, and those bushes take about 2-3 years to generate new leaves if they don't die. So, but the whole country is full of berries, so of course people can do it, but it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, like, you know, it's just so sad that people are of this standard.
They use these. It's called like a collector, let's say.
Yeah.
It's and I tried it myself, but I noticed the same thing. You just rip the leaves and then you destroy the berries.
Yes.
So I don't even understand, what do you get?
But you destroy the bushes, which is the worst thing.
I did not know that.
Like when you see the bushes next year, you can see how the stems, they only have a few leaves left when they were flourishing before. And it's a typical, like, I think, example of how like human neglect is at its worst.
My God.
In a way, kind of like how we harvest tomatoes and peppers here. There's a way to do it so that the plant can continue producing, you know, without destroying the entire plant.
Yeah, it's about thinking about all these things, everything from, you know, also trying to figure out. So when we say about the villages, where do we actually locate? So it's actually not important to think, well, where do we get the cheapest land? No, we need to think about where can we get the
best quality land.
And like, where can we have the access to the water today and in 10 years? We don't need, you know,
and pure
it's about thinking about everything in advance to figure out what is the right solution for whatever you're trying to do. And this goes into everything that we do.
That's amazing. And that's, I think, what matters really. The stuff what I have had in my life, it doesn't really matter, and I'm always ready to give it away or sell it. It doesn't matter, you know, what you have. But if you could be into the forest and have healthy food, that's what really matters.
Yes,
exactly. I think. Do you still have more questions, Rochelle, or do you think we are done for today, or are there any other words you might be willing to say for today?
Well, just a little commentary on another topic that I heard you talk about, which had to do with, you know, cultivating more life skills. And I'm really glad to hear, you know, that someone's actually doing this, because, you know, with each new generation, a lot of the knowledge that we should have known has just gone. It's, you know, there's no passing down of the information on how to function in today's society. And, you know, there should be a lot more people doing something about that. So I'm really glad to hear that, you know, that it's something that in the works.
Yeah, thank you. I think for me as well, I noticed this a long time ago, and I'm quite happy that we can be at a point where I can say that it's possible to do this. It's possible to do this on individual level already, but I think it's important to strive to get to do it more on a more larger collective scale, because it's like you say, the legacy that we are leaving is it is quite abrupt at the moment. It doesn't look good. One of the things that does help is this also international community. I think countries are, you know, their own worst enemies at the moment, because they are destroying a lot of this. So I think internationally, to actually transfer knowledge away from your own country is one of the safest modes to try to also preserve old information. So, because again, we go back to this trust issue.
Yeah, And I totally agree. And that's why I have also these projects coming, the addiction campaign and the emotional basic course, because I find that these is totally lacking. So I think we have to just spread the knowledge on everywhere in 3 languages, and everything what you do, if I can translate it into Spanish too, I want to pass it in the language skills I have I have learned to pass it also in people who can talk Spanish, because the more we can spread the word, the more we can open our minds and be brave, like you said. What was also one thing what the unique you is helping us to be, so that we could, you know, be the change.
Yeah, and there is no honor in protecting information. It took me a long time to understand this, but it's actually a really sad thing, because it's selfish. Why would I not teach my child for what to do? So why wouldn't I then teach somebody, my neighbor, to do something? Why am I afraid that I lose my job or I lose something else? No, I should go and do the next thing. I'm outdated if somebody else can do better than me, or I can work with them. It's like, but because we are so self-centered these days, to think that we can't, I can't provide for myself if I don't protect this. But it's not that it doesn't work, because you've already lost. You're never going to win that way. And I think it's just the realization that the world needs to figure out for themselves, and people need to kind of step up and be brave to say that, look, this is true. It's, it is what it is. And, it's a good saying, it is what it is. So go and do something else. You can always be whatever you want to be, but you have to believe at least a little bit. But if you don't have any belief, then it's not going to happen for you.
It's true. It's true. And things are, so many things are what we don't see that is actually doing all the work for us. And we should not forget about that. And
thank you, Rochelle. Important that you brought that up, and I'm really pleased, because I hope more people will actually start thinking about these things, because there is much more than even the question of our legacy we're leaving. It's what is happening to everything that, the world can look totally different if people continue to do things the way they do. We can actually erase a lot, and it's been done in the past, and it will be done again if people don't rise to the challenge.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Thank you so much also for your questions and comments and acknowledgement, and what you have done also for the other videos. So I'm very happy there is movements, and we're gonna grow together. So it's gonna be happy journey, because at least every time I'm happy when these meetings or these conversations are happening. It's always giving me a lot of energy boost, and I cannot sleep for a while. But it's good. I like it. So I'm very happy that we did this. And as you remember, every Thursday 9 in Spanish time, I will be here with the same link. Of course, we have different subjects, and sometimes we have something special like today, but any other day you can just come and ask questions, what is bothering you about health, wealth, relationship, and growth. And really, I just love if people throw me new question, and I can start finding answer if I don't have it right away. So please come and challenge me also, and join to these conversations too. And we're gonna keep these kind of exclusive interviews as well. And thank you so much, Niklas, for coming. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, Rochelle, also for your good questions. And yes, you can say also something if you want before we stop for today.
Thank you, Minja. I think absolutely. I think it's right, and I think it's important that everybody would do their best to attend these things. I know it's hard to take the time. It's I have the same problem, but it's something that if we do want to collectively grow, and if we want to leave a legacy, behind that is worth something, I think we have to step up and start working more collectively, all of us who can. And I think it's in that sense, it's really nice and good that you are, Minja, keeping up and trying to keep these going. In time, the people will grow into it, and they will understand why this was needed. But I'm very pleased I could be here today. So.
Thank you so much. And do you want to say, Rochelle, something also? You can say something also for the viewers if you want.
Thank you. I'm glad that I was able to participate even just a little bit. And yeah, I'm looking forward to all of these exciting new things coming out from Qi-Optima. So yes,
Wow.
Yes, me too. I'm really excited.
Wow, thank you so much. And I hope everyone of you who is viewing is excited, and remember to subscribe to the channel, share the channel, share these Zoom events and the links to people, because I really want to also do the short out to people, but I will do it when there's at least 10 people and it's not so much, and you can really do it in your daily, you don't need to take stress. You just be yourself, and whatever comes to your mind, oh my God, why there's Alzheimer? Why why do I always hit my knee on the wall? Whatever question you have, just come and let's talk about it. And it's also about us coming together, like we are living now very separately. So, let's break this, and let's break the limits even, because this is international. Just remember the time. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you for this evening. This was very special, and I was so happy.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Kristen. Also, do you have something that you want to say? We might have few minutes. You can also say something. Kristen is very, very awesome spiritual worker, and I have she have said me many times, and you can see the testimonial video also in YouTube channel, and we will definitely do more, and Kristen will eventually open also her shop in Qi-Optima. So can you please say hi to everybody a little bit?
Hello, everyone. I don't really have any questions. Rochelle kind of touched on everything, that's my girl. So I'm glad. I really enjoyed this session. I'm so glad I was able to tune in, and I will definitely be rewatching because I got a little distracted in between. And if I have any questions, I will definitely reach out to you guys, but I'll be following you, Nicholas, on your Insta. Right. I saw it. Okay.
Perfect.
Nice to meet you, Kristen.
Same here. Sorry for the background noise. That's why I keep it out. That's my neighbor's kids. So sorry, guys. So sorry.
Okay. No worries. And yes, of course, any questions you can just put here in YouTube channel, so that we will be answering you, and we would love to have conversations over there afterwards, because we touched so many important topics here. So let's have the conversation here below the video. Thank you so much. Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a just happy and blessed night or day whenever you're watching this. And remember, thank you. Remember, Qi-Optima, your source of life force.
Thank you.